What's going on, fellow A-Plusers? It is I, your host, as always, Adam Perez, coming through for you guys today with a brand new review for a brand new DC television show that just dropped this week in Naomi. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the famous Ava DuVernay led Naomi, as she wind up having her fingerprints all over this particular episode. I believe Ava DuVernay was in fact working with Warner Brothers to go ahead and put together a New Gods movie, which was in kind of early development for quite some time. She and another writer were trying to work on New Gods, but apparently I'm assuming that's been either shelved or pushed to the side. But they've definitely have kept her around and actually brought her into the television side of things as she decided to go ahead and put together Naomi. Now, Naomi, for those of you who don't know, when it comes to DC Comics, is still a relatively new character. I want to say maybe she's been on the scene for like 2-3 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. I could be wrong. I haven't really kept up too much with DC or Naomi's storyline for that matter, but I know she was in fact created by Brian Michael Bendis, one of my favorite writers. Wind up not only bringing her to life in the comics, but eventually made her a part of the Justice League comic books that he's currently writing on his current run also. So Naomi definitely has come a long way from her introduction not too long ago to being a member of the Justice League to now having her own live action television series. I think that's the power of writing, and when you create a great character, these are the type of opportunities that certainly rise for you. So from comic book to live action within a matter of years, pretty incredible stuff. And so when it comes to Naomi, her life very much is that of a mystery. Even in the comic books, she does not exactly know who she is, and all the pieces eventually start coming together for it to eventually be revealed to her. And that's exactly what we wind up seeing here in this particular episode to go ahead and kick us off. So a special shout out to Kaci Walfall, who actually does play Naomi. You know, I gotta say, I've never really seen her in anything else that she's been in, but I was actually hella impressed with her in this episode. It is one of those things where, especially when you're the lead of a show, I gotta know, are you gonna bring it acting wise, right? Do you have the talent to certainly carry a show, be believable? And I thought she did that in spades, honestly. I think if there was anybody that was truly the strongest point of this whole entire episode, it definitely was her. Some of the side characters felt a little bit weak to me in regards to the car dealership guy, Zumbaya, I believe his name is, along with the tattoo artist and D, at least when it comes to performances. But I'll definitely give them a shot as the season definitely progresses to kind of see the impact that they have. But as far as other supporting characters, like her other friends, right? I believe she's got her ex-boyfriend in here. She's got one of her friends, one of the white guy in here that her and the white guy get along really great, but apparently the guy and her ex-boyfriend don't. They clash or something like that because her friend is like a townie, and I don't think her ex-boyfriend likes townies or something like that. She's got two girlfriends, which I thought really works out well for her in here, having that, you know, that female emotional support that she certainly needs throughout this series. So I actually did not mind her supporting cast of friends, at least when it came to this episode. So I am really interested to kind of see where it goes from here. Now, going into this particular season, guys, I gotta be honest, when I looked at the trailers themselves, the teasers and some of the official trailers we got, I really wasn't that impressed, honestly. It didn't really move me. I think they did such a they felt I don't want to say they felt, but it felt very much like they were trying to keep as much stuff under wraps as they possibly could, and for me that was a little bit of a detriment in regards to not really doing justice to the marketing for your show, not really understanding what am I getting myself into before sitting down to watch this particular episode. And so while I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the trailers, I still found myself enjoying episode 1. I certainly wasn't blown away by anything from episode 1, but there definitely were some intriguing aspects that I definitely have questions to and certainly want to learn a little bit more about. So while I wasn't blown away, I thought it was decent and solid enough to definitely have me come back for next week's episode. And I think that's kind of what we're going to get, right? The idea of like, this is going to be a mystery that solves itself certainly over time, right? I think us as the viewer will learn about Naomi the same time that she certainly does, right? At the moment, she certainly believes that she's adopted. We got the opportunity to meet her adoptive parents in here. I am curious if her adoptive parents to know more than what they're certainly letting on about. I believe her adopted parents mentioned the idea that her parents died in a tragic car crash, but they mentioned it like miles away, maybe even a states over, or whatever the case may be. So I don't know if they know the full story or they do, but they're hiding it from her. But I would be intrigued to kind of learn a little bit more about that when it comes to the step parents, or the adoptive parents. I also really enjoyed the way that they showcase sort of Naomi's powers and discovering them, right? One of the very first scenes that we see in here is her taking off her glasses and putting them back on, realizing that she's got better vision with her glasses off than she does on. The complete opposite, if you will, than what we're certainly used to. And so when it comes to this, for some reason my mind went immediately back to like Peter Parker from the very first Spider-Man. Like I believe like the Sam Raimi movie that we had probably showcased his abilities like that also, like waking up in the morning, putting on his glasses and realizing, wait, I can't see shit with these things on, and taking them off and realizing that his vision is so much better. So I actually thought that was pretty cool, honestly. There's also a really great another scene where she's testing out her vision, where she could literally read the handwriting on a note from like across the room. So I thought that was pretty cool, which actually ends up sending her into the forest for a lead on Superman. And I think even in the forest, we do get ourselves a brief scene of Naomi's abilities. I don't know if that's a form of telekinesis that we see, but a really great sort of special effect in regards to the leaves and the twigs and the aura sort of surrounding her, if you will, while she's cornered talking to Zumbaya, I believe his name. I don't know. If you guys can correct me on what homeboy's name is, please let me know in the comment section box below. I just know he's the car dealership guy, or at least that's the role that he's playing, right? Because we see Naomi in the forest finding an actual disc with what looks to be, I don't know if that's Kryptonian symbols or some sort of alien symbols written on it, but this car dealership guy certainly wanted it and seemingly knew more about Naomi than he was definitely certainly letting on, right? Mentioning the idea that he was around Main Street, he's been following her around sort of thing, all since this morning, since her power sort of activated. So he's definitely onto her, along with another character in here by the name of D, who is actually the tattoo artist. He clearly knows more than he's letting on, and you realize that the moment homeboy says maybe you're not asking the right questions, right? Signifying, okay, so you know what I need to know, but I'm just not asking you properly. So and I think the idea of his reveal, which I think we even see in the trailer, right? Homeboy with the wings that kind of pop out and stuff like that too. So I would be interested to see what all he's got to tell her and really teach Naomi about who she truly is, right? Because at the end of the episode, I love the cliffhanger in the sense of her finally asking the proper question of, who am I? As she's realizing that there's certainly more to her than definitely meets the eye. So I am intrigued. Listen, I do love a good mystery, and I think if you can really tell a story properly, allow it to unfold over time, some really cool reveals, I think you can really be onto something special here. Like, for instance, the little Easter egg, I don't want to say it's a little Easter egg, but the little clue that we got when they were trying to break into the car dealership to find the disc, and Naomi runs across the newspaper that has a mysterious flying object over the city that she's currently living on March 14th, the very same day that she was in fact adopted. So I'm really interested to kind of see where this is going to go. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Naomi, I believe in the comic books, she's from another planet. She, I believe, is an alien, whether or not she was thrusted through a dimensional portal or if she's from another universe or another Earth, whatever the case may be. But I believe it was all an attempt to allow her to escape, because I believe the monsters or whatever danger was in there was certainly looking for her, type of thing. So, in the comic book, she eventually gets the mentorship of Superman and things like that. So I like the idea that episode 1 at least teased Superman and her kind of connection to him, right? I wonder if there's a much bigger connection than that, because I believe somebody asked her in here, like, do you know why it is that you are so fascinated by somebody like Superman sort of mentality? So I'm wondering if it's a case of, like, did Superman find her and send her to her adoptive parents? Is it a case of, like, him popping up in this city because maybe there's a monster in town and he's trying to protect Naomi without her sort of knowing that he is, right? Like the whole concept of Superman in this episode is really odd and strange to me, because I think going into it, I was very much under the impression, oh, you know, in the trailer you see Superman flying by, and I'm like, oh, that's Tyler. You know, that's Tyler from Superman and Lois. That's Superman. But I'm not under the impression that it is. So there's a part of me that's wondering, is this taking place in a brand new universe, right? That's opposite or at least separate exactly from the Arrowverse, similar to how like Stargirl is, right? She's not on necessarily the same world as Batwoman and the Flash and things like that. So I am wondering if that's the case here also, that this particular Earth or world that Naomi is on just maybe so happens to have another Superman. Wouldn't that be crazy if it's Brandon Routh Superman? Wouldn't that be crazy? So part of me is not expecting Tyler. Whether or not we even see Superman in here, who certainly knows? If I had to put my money on something just crazy happening, let it be Brandon Routh. I hope it's Brandon Routh Superman. I don't necessarily know if that's the case just based off of the brief shots and images that we did see of Superman in here, or if it's going to be somebody entirely new. Again, I don't even know if we'll see Superman in full in this episode. I believe Ava has mentioned the idea that we're not going to get any crossovers this season, which is fine. We didn't get a crossover for Stargirl in season 1. They held off on season 2 before they actually did some level of crossover when it comes to that. So I can respect that. Each character has a story to tell. Has an origin story to certainly get off the ground and get them running on their own. And you don't necessarily want to have to depend on others in order to certainly go ahead and do that. So I'm interested to see where this story is going to go. Again, I wasn't blown away by it, but I thought I found it as a decent, good episode that has intrigued me enough to definitely want me to come back for more, especially to kind of fill in the blanks, understand a little bit more about her past and history, get the opportunity to see what the involvement is of Superman, right? Because it's one of those things, like even when it comes to Superman, the fact that they mention comic book, it almost feels as though they don't even necessarily believe that Superman is real, or maybe there hasn't been like a lot of sightings of Superman to really confirm that he even exists, right? Because they keep referencing it as like a stunt. Oh, did you see that stunt that happened? So it feels very much like, is Superman just new to this world also? Has he always kept himself unidentifiable? Is that why they create comic books after this guy? I really have no idea. What's going on here, but the mystery definitely has me intrigued in regards to how this story is definitely going to come together. But listen guys, at the end of the day, I definitely want to go ahead and know your thoughts. What did you guys think of Naomi? Heck, what did you think about the actress that played her? Do you think she's strong enough to definitely carry her own series? Are you intrigued? Were you disappointed in this episode? Pros, cons? Let me know your thoughts, guys. So remember, at the end of the day, these are just simply my A+ opinions, but I definitely want to go ahead and know yours. So let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below after this particular video airs, and we'll definitely go ahead and continue this discussion for you guys throughout the week until our next review. I probably will not be doing these reviews live. If anything, you guys could probably expect them to be dropping, what is today, Tuesday? So yeah, you guys could probably expect these to be dropping Wednesday early afternoon or so for you guys, so definitely go ahead and look out for it then. But I think other than that, guys, also feel free to join our Discord if you like. It's a forum community that we have to help build our community outside of our YouTube page. So if you would like to go ahead and join our Discord, there is a link in the description box below. But until then, guys, that's everything from me. I'll certainly see you next week. But until then, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.